On Rumbi Uncensored. I just want to welcome everybody. You've seen the topic actually. So before we start, I just want to say if it's your first time to come across this channel, please make sure that you subscribe. And after you subscribe, you must ring the bell, because every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who always stuck with me here, my regulars. It means a lot. I appreciate you deeply, deeply, honestly. Us having this kind of conversations, it just revolutionized our society. Because I can see many people are like, we didn't know where to start. But finally, it seems like we're all just literally fueling each other. We need one another in this era, Zimbabweans. We need each other. You know what I mean? We really do. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, Now with Rumbi. Please, please, just go in there and subscribe. The content is coming and full force. Interviews are going to come. So relax and chill and go in and just be a sister's keeper. Hilda is here. James is here. Good to see everybody. And thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Now, people are demanding that we have disclosure on the President Emerson Mnangagwa's corruption file. Today, I was shocked. Actually, I saw a list of companies circulating online. And they were literally nearly, I think, 100 or more than 100. And people were like, what's up? Like, I'm listening, the president has got companies more than 100. But bear in mind, these are simply allegations because, you know, how people are on social media. They just love to drop stuff. And Uncle Gerard, who shared that information as well, you were saying he simply copied it. So he didn't have like, confirmation on those companies, but they were nearly 100. And people were saying President Emerson Mnangagwa on the command together with Kuda Tagwire. Quite very interesting. It's a very, 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 very captivating season for everyone, honestly. But while other people are waiting, you know, we have our intro song, which is such a beautiful song that was sung by our sisters when that was pre-independence. You know, they were desperate to be in Zimbabwe. At that time, they were stuck in the refugee in Mozambique. And here we are. I mean, all over the world, Zimbabweans, we are all saying that we can't wait to meet at home. So while you drop your blue hearts here, because, yeah, I don't want to lie, I saw the blue movement wearing blue and white t-shirts, top class. I was like, yeah, that's where I belong. Don't forget to like the live. Nearly 100 people here. Rush in your numbers and subscribe to the channel so that at least we can actually bring other people to this conversation. YouTube will push algorithm for us. So please come through, guys. Let's have this conversation. In the interim, again, tesa tikuno sangana kupi, guys. Tikuno sangana kupi, tikuno sangana ku Zimbabwe, aren't we? Yeah. Tikuno sangana ku Zimbabwe. Good to see everybody. I'm so glad you're here. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. All right, guys. Okay, so good to see everybody. Welcome to Rumbi Uncensored. And it's our late night show, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. All right, today we have quite a very hot topic, really. I actually heard that they have confiscated a lot of guns that were actually smuggled into Zimbabwe. I'm like, yeah, one of the things that I can't stand. I cannot stand, yeah, and this is, I said from the bottom of my heart, is to literally be married to a man who owns a gun. I can't stand, like, I cannot stand, yo. I don't want that spirit around me, yo. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I cannot marry a policeman. I can't marry a guy from the army. Any person who may own a gun, yo, I'm out of that place. I cannot stand. So guns were literally caught as in Glenora, where these guns were smuggled by a bus. And I was like, hold on. Zimbabwe has never been a country that literally support, guns. But this is where we are. That's the Zimbabwe we are in today. Quite very sad indeed. So Shavangu is the one that is trending, and I'll tell you why he has been suspended. We're going to be looking at that story a little bit later, but I wanted to give a bit of an intro of what we are going to be discussing tonight. Also, really pursuing an interview that was done by Temba Muliswa and Trevor Ngube. I'll tell you why this interview is so important to me. It's because this interview really is kind of explaining where we are today, why we are in this season, where to from here. So I just can't wait to really, dig into that interview. And I want to say shout out to Trevor Ngube for really did such a great job in conversation with Trevor. Others, you can also go in there and subscribe to that channel. Quite an interesting interviews there, educational. Really, he is really amazing at that job. So Shavangu is trending. We'll look into that a little bit later. Not important for now. Shavangu doesn't deserve much of my airtime. So I don't really, invest much into his shenanigans. Now, it's very important for us to understand that the era we are in now, the time we are in, the season we're in, is a season of truth. But let me tell you why I love the season of truth, especially if you've been walking in a journey of lies, manipulation, deceit. What truth it does, at the moment it visits, it really opens the door to say, now you're about to see the freedom that you always wanted. Because freedom can only come when truth comes. You can't have freedom if there's no truth. Ask people who may be in a very difficult position. Let's just say you are in a marriage and you are struggling with, you have done something wrong and you don't know how to say it. You know what I'm saying? Every day of your life, you're like, I'm praying that this person won't gonna catch me. But the day that you free yourself by saying the truth, that is it. You have won the battle. The season we are in, the season of truth, is simply a season that is introducing us to freedom. So for those who doesn't know, for me, I'm celebrating. I'm like, finally, the freedom we have always been looking for is here. We thought there was a strategic ambiguity. No, it wasn't. It was God's divine direction. That's where we talk about divine direction. That's the purpose of scriptures, is you are seeking for divine guidance. So Nelson Chamisa was seeking for divine guidance. And we all see that Nelson Chamisa is being vindicated. And I say, shout out to you, sir. And may God bless you and may God bless your family. He's being vindicated. Strategic ambiguity was God's divine direction. For those who didn't know, exactly, it was divine direction. Now, I want to say to the president for Citizen Coalition for Change, actually the first one in a row. Guys, have you ever heard from Mr. Ngube, Mr. Welshman Ngube, the president for Citizen Coalition for Change? Shout out to Mr. Ngube, because I remember immediately when they come through, when they came with their old structures. Do you remember when Ngube said that we will breathe the new life into Triple C? And I'm waiting to see what kind of life did they breathe, or they're still going to breathe. But hang on. We are going to be looking at what's happening between Sengezo and the other guys, which includes Ngube. But again, let's give him credit for saying we are going to breathe some air into the Triple C. I hope we're going to be seeing something tangible and something that can even also awaken or resuscitate this dead horse. Let's wait and see. Now, again, we went through yesterday the USA sanctions. And the moment the USA mentioned that there were never sanctions, especially with the Zedera, and also mentioned that the sanctions that really implicate Zimbabweans have been removed, and now we're only left with sanctions that are targeting individuals because of corruption and human rights abuse. The moment you say that, Zimbabweans will all open their eyes wide. So I realized that most of the media companies are literally inviting the United States of America to come through and elaborate what is it that they were really talking about. And today, there was an interview that he had. I loved one thing that he really mentioned there after they asked him a question. And I want you guys to listen to what he said. Quite a very important point right there. Because I think there's a disconnect between the truth and, the lies people have been consumed over the years. Because Zimbabweans, that's why I always said we kind of suffering from a Stockholm syndrome where we become servants to our abusers or our oppressors. We need to understand that sometimes the only time we win sorry is the time that we embrace truth, notwithstanding our past experiences. When we are able to embrace truth, it will make life easier for all of us. But let's hear USA again elaborating after they were being asked questions. Now that these sanctions are still implicating the president and some of the vice president and some of his subordinates, also other business people. How is the president going to engage America considering that he is too stuck with these sanctions? Now take a listen to the response from America. What a powerful response. Take a listen, please.
Every year. Yeah. But I mean, for the everyday, you ask the ordinary Zimbabwean, I mean, if you've got access to internet or you got it on your phone, the Young African Leaders Initiative, if you go to yali.states.gov, there's all kinds of resources on entrepreneurship, on basic leadership skills, and any number of opportunities. So I encourage young people to check those out. Okay.
All right, I'm going to come to our WhatsApp messages. So there's a question that came in. If key people are sanctioned, doesn't it give a bad reputation for other countries to not want to do business in Zimbabwe?
It is a good question.
Hi, I'm ready.
Again, we were
Ready
talking
for a
about
connection.
bad math earlier. Yeah. Bad math is 11.
I'm very sorry because they haven't connected the Bluetooth. I'm sorry about that. Let me do that immediately. I apologize. Apologize on that. I want you to hear well the response and the questions that were asked. Thank you very much.
Bluetooth connected.
To the United States every year. Yeah. But 40 or more who travel to the United States every year. Yeah. But I mean, for the everyday, you ask the ordinary Zimbabwean, I mean, if you've got access to internet or you got it on your phone, the Young African Leaders Initiative, if you go to yali.states.gov, there's all kinds of resources on entrepreneurship, on basic leadership skills, and any number of opportunities. So I encourage young people to check those out. Okay.
All right, I'm going to come to our WhatsApp messages. So there's a question that came in. If key people are sanctioned, doesn't it give a bad reputation for other countries to not want to do business in Zimbabwe?
So it is a good question. But again, we were talking about bad math earlier. Yeah. Bad math is 11 equaling 16 million. 11 people on a sanctions list do not equal the 16 million amazing people in this country. Okay. And so we need to figure out